And welcome to Ask an Attorney Live. We do this every week on Facebook. I'm Dwayne Boswell Show with the Boswell Law Firm, and I'm excited that we are here. Missed everyone last week. I was in a training and able to do this, and I just like to be able to provide this information and help people know what their rights are every week. And so I missed it last week, and I want to make an effort to not have that happen again. But sometimes life happens and we have other places that we have to be. But even if I don't do this, you're always welcome to reach out to me with any questions, concerns, topic suggestions that you want to hear about. And you can do that at my email, which is dwayna@boswelltexaslaw.com. And so today I was just kind of looking. I haven't looked in a while just to see, where everything's going with COVID, and so we're still fluctuating up and down every day, but we're a lot lower than we were back during the summer. When it was scary high, but they are showing a little bit of an increase over the past week from previous weeks. So just stay diligent, take care of yourselves, live your lives, and be smart. Is the best thing I can say. But we're nowhere near the danger levels that we were back in June, July, August, and things are kind of leveling it out. It looks like. So just take care of yourselves. So today I wanted to do part 2 of what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, which is businesses and what they can do to make sure that they don't have deceptive trade practices, so that they don't get sued for that. And really, it could cost quite a bit of money. So today I'm going to talk about really the first 5 things that are listed in what we call the laundry list of the deceptive trade practices. And that's going to be passing off goods or services at those of another. Obviously, that's not going to be good. You don't want to sell a computer and say it's a MacBook when it's not. Causing confusion or misunderstanding as to the source, sponsorship, approval, or certifications of goods or services. That would be something like telling somebody that you have a refurbished MacBook. We'll stick with that. And you know that all the internal pieces of that computer are not a Mac friendly, or they are not from Apple. That you've used other parts, you've created this, but even though it's got the shell that looks like, a Hewlett Packard, an Apple, whatever that case would be, but you know that the internal parts are not actually from that manufacturer, then that would be a deceptive trade practice. Causing confusion or misunderstanding as to an affiliation, connection, or association with, or certification by another. A common one with that would be if we have an attorney that says that they're board certified and they're actually not board certified, that's a deceptive trade practice. Using deceptive representations or designations of geographic origin in connection with goods or services. We see that when we have a company that may operate out of another country but say that they're U.S. based. Even though their headquarters and ownership and everything is in another country, that would be leading Americans to believe that it's an American company when it's actually not, which would be a deceptive act. And the final one that we're going to talk about today is representing that goods or services have a sponsorship, approval, characteristic, ingredients, uses, benefits, or quantities which they do not have, or that a person has a sponsorship, approval, status, affiliation, or connection with the person does not. So those are kind of similar. And that's why I kind of group these together. It's all about representing that your service, or that you have qualifications, or the goods that you're selling are one thing when they're actually something else. A way a business can really get themselves in trouble and not intentionally be doing something is, maybe a violation of a trademark. And that's you've created your own brand, logo or whatever, and you didn't do a search to make sure that nobody else has something that's similar, and you get in trouble for deceptive trade practices from somebody that thought that you were this other company when you were not, and you had no intention to deceive them. it was merely an accident, but courts don't really pay attention to the fact that it was an unintentional representation when you could have done a search or done something to make sure that that wasn't happening. We see that a lot sometimes when we have company names that are very similar to a popular brand. That's why it's also important that you incorporate or file paperwork as a LLC partnership, do some sort of formation paperwork with the Secretary of State, because when you do that, you have to do a name availability search, and the Secretary of State will actually provide you listings of any companies that either have the exact same name or something very similar, and the Secretary of State actually has to approve your name, and they do that by making sure that it's not somebody else's name or so similar to another name that you would sorry, I keep getting pop-ups here. So similar to another name, so that somebody thinks that they're doing business with somebody when they're actually not doing that. So just doing something right here. So I quit getting these pop-ups. So we want to make sure that you do your formation paperwork with the state. It gives you all sorts of protections, one of which is making sure that your name, any affiliation or anything isn't so closely related to another business that somebody is going to mistake your business for theirs and possibly sue you under the DTPA because they thought they were doing business with a different company. You also want to make sure, I mean, obviously the obvious ones are just don't say that you have something that you don't have, such as, you know, an attorney saying that they're board certified when they're actually not. Even if you think that you are and you didn't get your recertification, just saying that you are without making sure that you are board certified could get you in trouble. This would be, you know, anything that has a license with the state that they've allowed to expire, anything that's, or they just don't have, that would be a Deceptive Trade Practice Act. Or saying that you've got this warranty on a vehicle or some other good that you've sold when you actually don't have that warranty or whatever it is that you're saying that good or service has. So do your due diligence when you're naming your company, when you're interacting, you're selling your goods or your services, and make sure that everything that you say to somebody is an accurate statement about the qualities of the good, the services that you provide, the name of your company, just anything. And just remember, the biggest thing I can probably stress to anyone is ignorance is not a defense. So you've got to do your research and you have to look into things and, you know, go through the legal avenues to make sure that you're not violating any of these provisions under the Deceptive Trade Practices Act. So it's a short one this week, and we'll talk more about some of the other provisions under the DTPA next week. And as always, any questions or concerns, give me send me an email. You can direct message me or you can give me a call. My number is 832-919-6595, and I am always here to answer your questions. So we'll see you again next week, and have a wonderful weekend. Looks like we've got some cool weather coming in this weekend, so it should be a really nice weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everyone.